What's in here? There's not a body.
Relevant, relatable, and reliable information from full-time RVers.
We packed up and left Vegas, heading north on US 95 for Rhyolite, about 120 miles as the crow flies northwest of Las Vegas, a spectacular ghost town nestled in the Bullfrog Hills of Nye County, Nevada, just west of Beatty and east of the awesome and infamous Death Valley. Last time I was there was 20 years ago. Back then you could walk in and amongst the remnants of the old buildings. Not so now, as most buildings are fenced off. It sprung up in 1905 during a massive gold rush that sent thousands of gold seekers, developers, miners, and service providers flocking to the area, many of them settling in Rhyolite, which was near the Montgomery-Shoshone mine, the region's biggest gold producer. By 1907, Rhyolite had electric lights, water mains, telephones, newspapers, a hospital, a school, an opera house, and even a stock exchange. Estimates of the town's peak population vary widely, but sources generally place it between 3,500 and 5,000 people. When the gold started to die out, so too did Rhyolite. Most everyone had left the dying town by 1911, and by 1920, the only thing left in Rhyolite were tin cans, buildings, and ghosts of the past. We camped nearby at Boppo's Pond, which offers flat ground, spectacular views, and free camping. This little oasis is busy with trout, golden-eyed ducks, and even a majestic great blue heron, whose size will make you say, wow. Late in the afternoon, 2 wild burros wandered down the mountain road and headed directly for the pond's edge, paying no mind to us or the other campers. We were all visitors. They were the locals, and this was their watering hole. After the burros disappeared back into the hills, we took a late afternoon hike, which turned into a climb up an east-facing bluff overlooking our campsite. Something on its ridgeline caught our eye. It turned out to be the ruins of an abandoned mining apparatus. Boppo's Pond was only supposed to be an overnight stay, but it enticed us to stay a few more days. We packed up and moved on. We were aiming for Tonopah, or at least to get within hollering distance of it. As the miles passed by, we turned off at US 95 and pointed our motorhome down Nevada State Route 774 and followed the 2-lane highway to where the blacktop ends. Where the blacktop and the dirt road meets is Gold Point, a well-preserved little ghost town in Esmeralda County. There are few people still living in the area, of which we only saw one, who tossed us a friendly wave through a dirty window of one of the old buildings. Otherwise, we were alone and left to explore. Gold Point is an old name, from an 1800s discovery of that precious metal found in the area. More recently, in 1902, silver was discovered, and the old gold camp was revived and renamed Horn Silver. Though today, the little ghost town is once again known by its old name of Gold Point. In 1905, the Great Western Mine Company began operations and discovered a rich silver vein, which brought a stampede of miners to the camp. Before long, businesses sprouted up, including as many as 13 saloons. The town peaked at a population of around 1,000 people. After a couple hours of poking around Gold Point, we headed for Goldfield, which our research indicated was a semi-ghost town. At first glance, Goldfield looked like a bust. It appeared to be more of a almost forgotten, weathered little desert town than a true ghost town. That's when we ran into Brian, who is a local store owner. Brian actually owns a few shops, one of which was part museum and part antique shop. Stop by and have a chat with Brian. He's got some treasure hunting stories for you, and if you're lucky, he'll show you some finds that'll knock your socks off.
Herman Roth, Solingen, and there's your shoot stuffer, your SS stamp. His name is where he lived, and there's your lightning bolts.
That's crazy.
And of course, as a sergeant's sword, when you think about it, you wouldn't have a general or a major or anything, run a little mining camp.
We pulled into a lonely little spot just off the 95. The darkness was all-encompassing, but a glance to the heavens will leave you slack-jawed and mesmerized by all the stars. I think I hadn't seen stars like that in forever, really. We packed up and headed north on 95, on our way to Walker Lake for a few nights. About 40 miles west of Tonopah, we saw what looked like a cluster of buildings off in the distance. At first we thought it might be a county storage yard for road construction equipment, but as we rolled up closer, the graffiti and broken buildings told us this place was abandoned and worth pulling in to check out. This place was once a small community known as Coaldale. It was abandoned and died out in the early 1990s. Exactly how long does an area need to be abandoned before it's considered a ghost town? I'm not sure of the answer, but it was pretty neat walking around this deserted little village. Coaldale is a former mining town, and like Gold Point, is located in Esmeralda County, Nevada. Coaldale had a store, cafe, motel, and a service station as late as 1993. Though still standing, they are now abandoned. What's in here? There's another body.
I sure hope nobody kills my mother-in-law who lives at 19036 Pine Street, Scottsdale, Arizona. Consider it done. Oh my goodness.
We're at Sportsman's Beach on Walker Lake in Nevada. As we drove down to our campsite, I noticed signs along the roadway that pointed out water levels from the past. 1921, 1930, 1946, and the excitement inside me is growing. I am for sure going to metal detect this site.
Look at this view, guys. Let's see. Oh, it's a lot of rock down here. Still in the hole. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Got a little lure. First find of the day. Cuckoo. This makes it so much easier to find targets because you can see in here, you can't see anything, but this sees right through it. There it is. Look at that. Ooh, that's another red devil. That is another red devil. I don't know how old these are, but that's a cool one. I've not seen a design like that. Sweet. I'm kind of liking these. I don't know. Maybe I'll start a collection of old lures or something. That was kind of cool. I like that. Okay, I'm just going to start collecting these things. Obviously, where I was is deeper water, so people were fishing here. But this is cool, man. I like finding these kinds of things, to be honest with you. This one's a little bit gnarlier than the others, but you know what? I'll take it. Ooh, look at that one. That is super cool. I don't see these like this anymore. These have got to be old. Like I said, I'm below the 1920 tide line, so I'm thinking these are old. Older, anyways. Super cool. I'm loving these things. All right, got another lure here. They like these spoons, apparently, out here. I can't believe how many of those spoons I'm finding. I mean, it's cool. I'm actually thinking, as I come through here every year, I'm just going to get into coming down to this beach and digging these old spoons, these old lure spoons. It's another spoon. Little red devil. I just think these are so cool now. I didn't care about these before, but now that I'm finding a bunch of them, I'm a collector.
This is the closest we've come to an actual campsite since we left Vegas 6 days ago. We have a nice level spot with a fire ring, picnic table, and trash bins. No hookups, but with our solar and water tanks, we don't require them. The air temps are in the high 50s on our first day, and the water temps feel about the same, if not a tad colder. I have this thing that no matter the temperature, I like to jump in natural bodies of water in every state we pass through.
Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, my legs ache. I can't get in fast enough.
Today's goal is to reach Winnemucca. For some reason, I keep calling it Wickiup.
Look at this old place we found. We're up here in the little foothill area, ghost town called Unionville in Nevada, just outside of Wickiup. This is a cool building. It looks like they're in the middle of refurbishing it now, so I'm glad we got it before they got all the refurbishing.
South of the I-80 and west of State Route 400 is Unionville. In its heyday, the 1870s, there's about 1,500 people who lived here, including Samuel Clemens, also known as Mark Twain.
Whoa. It's probably a rat. I thought it was a rattlesnake. Very cool old wall right there. Stone wall. See how thick it is? Boy, you can tell that's old. My goodness. Beautiful over here. Wow. Let's look at the mountains up there. Gorgeous. All right, let's go find some more. Abby, 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 Abby. How'd you get here? You were just in the window.
Clemens referenced Unionville in one of his travel diaries as 11 cabins and a Liberty pole. The cabin he stayed in is still standing, and it's referred to as Mark Twain's cabin to this day. Today, Unionville has about 20 residents. There's absolutely no cell or internet coverage in the area, but we barely notice this, as we're caught up in its beauty. With Winnemucca still a fair distance away, we found an old abandoned building, which turned out to be an old Indian reservation school.
All right, guys, just came across this cool old abandoned, it looks like a school, just off of 95 here in Nevada. Wow, this is awesome. Check this out. Yeah, very cool. You could tell this was the old playground area here. Very cool old building. A little spooky. I don't know why, but a little freaky. It's during the day and all, but when I got up in that window, I heard a rumble and stuff move, and it just kind of, you know, that pit of your stomach where it just like, you know, I kind of got that a little bit. But very cool building. I love stopping off at these old abandoned places and checking them out. All right, getting back in Boone here, hitting the road on our way to Wickiup.
Just after we crossed the state line in Oregon, the winds really picked up. Boone, our Class A motorhome, was getting battered from side to side. I struggled to keep the 32-foot beast within the lanes. There was no place to pull over, even if I wanted to. And believe me, I wanted to.
So is this the windiest you've ever driven in?
In an RV for sure. Possibly in anything.
We took it slow, but it was stressful, to the point of my hands and wrists hurting from gripping the wheel so hard for so long.
Oh boy, look at this. Good. 30 amp hookups. I'd rather have 50, but 30 will do.
Thankfully, our stop for the night is at a campground that has hot springs. As soon as we arrived, we booked one of the bathhouses and each enjoyed a hot soak. I even jumped into the natural hot spring pond on site. Outside air temperatures were in the 20s, but the water temperature was well over 100.
I can't believe how beautiful this is. You know, sometimes a treasure isn't something that you find physically. Something you find emotionally or psychologically, up here or in the heart. Something that brings a smile to your face. Ah, I can't stop smiling. Beautiful.